Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Willfully Wrought's first live broadcast from the Willfully Wrought Talk Studio. My name is William, and I am fairly happy about the outcome of the AFC Championship game.
And my name is Will, and I want to lie in a hole for the next year.
I don't think you need to lie in a hole, man.
Okay.
It was a good game. I can absolutely understand being upset at the outcome. Especially there were so many moments and so many little things that if they had gone literally 8 inches one way or the other, it's a completely different ball game.
It is. It really is. It was a good football game. I might even say it was better than the 2020 game.
With the points
The
in the 13 seconds. Yeah.
13 seconds, because every play felt like that. It felt that important. And there was never a moment where either team could turn off, so to speak. It was it was a good game. It was a great
Oh,
game.
no, absolutely. Do you have any moments just like looking back in your head that are just like this is the most important part of this game that I want to talk about like right now?
I want to talk about the incredible touchdown that Cook did, where he was airborne
Oh
and he just
yeah.
reached his arm across the end zone line.
Oh yeah.
Incredible. I've never seen a touchdown like that. That is what it looks like when you are under pressure and you persevere. Incredible.
Oh yeah, dude. There were 3 different times that his forward momentum stopped. Like when he caught the ball, he had an initial juke where his forward momentum stopped. When he was running the ball, he juked again and his momentum stopped. And he jumped in the air, that initial jump, and he got tagged by the defensive end, and his momentum stopped. But then he just reaches the ball out and slaps it down in the end zone, dude. I was excited. I wanted to be mad about it. I wanted to be upset, but I couldn't. It was glorious and beautiful to watch. And I was just so happy. I was like, man, that's amazing. That one's going to go positively.
Yeah. I think even though they lost, that might be the play of the game. If I think that might be the play of the game, even when they lost. I will say this is the first time that I have felt that Kansas City has had a defense worth talking about. This was a defensive game if ever there was one. In defensive games, this is the first defensive game I've seen where I wasn't bored.
Oh yeah, dude. One of the things that I got growing up when I played a lot of high school ball and a little bit of ball in college is we played against this team about 3 counties away named Trenton. And which is funny because there's a Trenton, Missouri, but it's completely unassociated.
This is Florida.
Exactly.
Gator ball over there.
Yeah, it's in Trenton, Florida. It was just one of our cross county rivals, and they ran the ball down our throats. And it was my senior year. They were getting 4 yards of play, and I remember a coach standing there and just turning and looking at us. He's like, "That's how you win a game. You get 4 yards every play, and you'll win every game."
Yep.
And I went back to that. I quoted that talking to the boys I was watching the game during that third quarter when the Bills just marched that ball and ran it for like 13 or 14 downs in a row, 13 or 14 snaps. It was just a run, and every run got 3 to 4 yards. And I was just like, yep, this is how it is. And until Kansas City could stop that run, like if they didn't finally figure out how to stop that at the top of the fourth quarter, there no shot in my mind. Like Bills win the game.
Yeah, I mean, it came down to the fact that Kansas City really just kind of had the better defense. I would also say early in the game, Allen was not playing up to what his normal standards were. He was clearly shaken by something. He was not yeah. Thank you, Mika. Hello. Welcome to the chat. I think that he wasn't up to something was throwing him early on. He overcame it, but it was a little too late.
No, I'm gonna go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say this game was incredible in the fact that both teams were up at different points in the game.
The lead changed 5 times.
Yeah.
The points leader of the game changed 5 times, which is absolutely wild. Like that kind of lead change doesn't occur during regular season. Really, once you get a leader, like that's it. Nothing like the Eagles last week. I know it was like 55 to something.
You mean last night or this
today?
morning? Today, it was today.
Yeah, listen, there's just a lot going on in the world. Okay,
there really is. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Lots and lots of things to talk about and kind of just talk about. Sorry, my mind is all over the place.
Oh no! You're absolutely right, Psychfish. Hey, thanks for coming to join us. We appreciate that. It's good to have some feedback up here. No, the entire first quarter, the way that I want to describe that, just because of the number of penalties. Like I was watching really closely, there were a lot of pre-snap and post-snap penalties for the Bills, and
Yes.
I really think that with the way that this game played out. And I also really think that the amount of money that we paid the refs, I think those are huge determiners. I think the Bills just had the jitters. Earlier today when we were poking fun at each other on the Facebook, and I noted, I was like, hey, it's a really young team, and it really kind of showed. Like it was a lot of nervousness, I think, and maybe because of how big the game was and how many times this matchup has happened. And you've beaten them before, and you can just do it again. And then one little thing goes wrong, a 5-yard penalty here, a 10-yard penalty here on something that could have been prevented. It affects you psychologically. Like it's a real thing that can get to you.
Does. And walking into Arrowhead is unlike walking into any other stadium. It's the loudest stadium in the country, at least until the new Bills stadium is built. It's currently under construction, my friends. What also struck me is that these are two teams, and this didn't change after the game, but these are two teams, both of which neither of them have lost at home this entire season. They're the only two. They're the only two teams in all of the NFL who have achieved that.
I didn't realize that. That's wow.
Yeah. I think this game was the Super Bowl. I don't think the Super Bowl can match up with this. I know that people are just like, well, the Eagles have something to prove. Sorry, the Chiefs want the three-peat.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna happen.
Sorry, that's a Chief Pete from now on. We're gonna call that.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Tony Romo and we're gonna talk about those jokers. Because listen, how many times I think it was Tony Romo who said, I called that it would be disastrous if he left the game, and there he goes. And you know what? That's just a bad call. It's just unfortunate for the Bills. 3 out of the 4 quarters, he said that.
Yeah.
We know.
Oh, what was that? What was the name of that guy? Benford?
Yeah, Benford.
Yeah, dude. That the play where they showed that helmet to helmet. Well, one, that should have been a foul.
Well, thank you for saying
so. No. There's a couple calls I disagree with. Now, don't be wrong. I'm a Chiefs fan as long as they're winning. But
yes.
Well, that helmet to helmet, it should have been a foul. Like that hurts. Like when you get hit in the head like that, that hurts. It rocks your head, it rocks your neck, it rocks your brain. He was sitting in a golf cart riding back to the locker room on a level field, and he was rocking back and forth.
And he was not, like, I don't know if you saw his face. He was not on planet
No,
Earth.
he was not cognizant. And I really hope that he's going to be all right. Like I genuinely hope that he's going to be fine.
I am too. I hope he is okay. I wish Von Miller had kind of stood up a little bit, because he's been a beast in the other games, and he just really, listen, it's hard going up against Mahomes. It really is. I would say it's just as hard to go up against Josh Allen, but man, they had our number. They had our number for a while.
Well, I mean, I did call out some of the mistakes that the Bills were making early. I do want to call out there was the first big turnover. when Mahomes and Worthy were just on the wrong. They were on different plays.
Yes.
Mahomes was trying to hand the ball off, and Worthy was trying to not hand the ball off. He was
He
trying
thought
to
it was a
fake.
fake. Yep.
Yeah. He thought it was a fake, and the ball just rolls on the ground. And I'm like, what the are you guys doing? Like, who screwed up the call here?
Listen, for as many times early in this game as the ball was dropped or
Yeah.
fumbled or badly thrown, the fact that there were so few turnovers in this game
Yes.
is incredible. Do you know how many times Josh Allen dropped the ball and then regained it?
I know at least twice.
Like 3 or 4.
Oh,
Like
man.
3 times. Yeah, it was insane. And there was no moisture. Like
No, it was just
last
cold
week,
nerves.
it was just cold and nerves. And Allen knows how to play in the cold. So it was the nerves. Sorry, the Bill resentment is starting to come out a little bit.
It's fine. It's fine. I told you, like, rooting for the Chiefs is like meeting up with an old girlfriend.
Right.
Like, you were together for a while, things were good, some things happened, you went your separate ways, and you see her a little later and things are going all right, and you're like, man, this, maybe we shouldn't have gone our separate ways. And then you get a really good reminder of why you went your separate ways. Like that's what it feels like to root for the Kansas City Chiefs. So
yeah, I do think that the Chiefs I will say this: the Super Bowl has no chance of being nearly as good a game as this. Now, I might eat those words. I could very well eat those words, but I don't think the Eagles are nearly as good a team as the Bills, and they're certainly not as good a team as the Chiefs. And it's it's gonna be an interesting game to watch, but I don't think many people here in Buffalo are even gonna give it a shot.
Understandable. Absolutely understandable, especially given the last few years. Let's see. I did take some notes. Oh yeah, about the Bills being nervous, man, an illegal formation call. Like, come on, man. Like,
yeah. The one that got me was when I don't remember if it was first or second quarter, but Bills and it was Mahomes threw a pass to a Chiefs player, and the Bill defensive player was tangled up with them, and it looked like
yes,
the ball definitely touched the ground.
100%.
Yeah, so that was just a bad call, and I don't want to say that it changed the flow of the game, but it very well could have.
No, it absolutely changed the flow of the game, and I agree with you. You could tell when they go and get the captain referee, the guy with the white hat, the guy we paid the most money, coming in. Whenever he was coming out, sorry, I have to go back a little further. The head coach of the Bills, I don't remember his name. You got it off the top of your head?
I don't, but
Okay.
he's okay.
He
might still have a job after tonight.
He should because I don't feel like he did anything wrong.
No.
He threw out the challenge flag, and apparently the refs just ignore that. And there's another down a football play that snap never should have been snapped. And then they're like, "Oh, we're going to challenge this," and I'm like, "Okay, cool. This is what they should have done." And you can see the look on his face, like his eyes are all shifty. He's looking left and right. He's like, we're gonna replay that down." He didn't know what the hell was going on. Like, and then like going back and looking at it, here's what I feel like happened. Ball's in the air. Bills defender actually catches the ball. I really feel like the Bills defender caught the ball.
I do too.
I think the receiver had his hands on the ball. I don't remember if that was Worthy at that point or not. I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, he's coming down with the ball, and they're coming down, and the Chiefs receiver's hand is also on it. I feel like if that ball had not hit the ground, it would not have been caught. That's my personal feeling. I feel like it would have been an incomplete call, incomplete pass.
Well, and that's what I think it should have been called, was incomplete, and then it would have been a second down. I believe it would have been a second down. Yeah. I feel like that was a bad call made. Man, one thing I do want to say about our defense, y'all need to stop grabbing face masks, man.
Oh, dude,
Holy cow.
a
Like,
lot.
just egregious. Stop that shit, please.
Well, and
Ow.
there was a another play where oh, hello. Apparently, all the chat messages just got reloaded.
Oh,
These things happen. So we got Mahomes ran one of them in one of the touchdowns, and I think it was actually shortly after that catch or that lack of catch, depending on how you want to. It's going to be argued for a long time.
yeah.
So Mahomes runs that in, and you can tell how upset the defenders are because, like immediately, Kelsey gets in there and just starts bobbing his head. Like you can tell he's talking shit to one of the Bills
Mhm.
defenders, and then this other guy just comes in because he feels like a fight starting, and another penalty got called
Yep.
because they lost their tempers, and it was well after the play is over, and it's just like,
Yeah.
man, guys, like,
Well, and I will
ugh.
say, like, even after that, I was so proud of the Bills players for helping up Chiefs players after plays were
Yep,
done. Like, I don't know if you saw that. I'm sure you did, but I
yeah.
was so proud of the Bills players to do that. Awesome. Like,
Mhm.
gamesmanship will absolutely that that says so much. And these boys that we're playing against for the Chiefs are supposed to be Midwesterners. Mm-mm. That's not how Midwesterners treat each other.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
not at all. Oh man. I do want to say that in the third quarter, that
Mhm.
was the best of this whole ball game. That was the best the Bills played. They ran the ball down their throat the entire time.
Yeah.
They had a 3-and-out. Oh no, it wasn't a 3-and-out. The Chiefs had a scoreless drive. They
Mhm.
weren't able to get the ball down the field, and were
It was
forced.
the only scoreless drive that they had the entire game. I wanna
Oh,
say.
yeah, yeah, because everything else was field goal or yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, they played a great quarter of ball in the third
Mhm.
quarter. I think that was also, yeah, that was where the lead changed a third time.
Yeah.
When the Bills were able to run the ball down the field and get it in
With
there.
the best and we talked about this right before we started streaming. In my opinion, the best play of the game, which was Cook's one arm
Yeah.
extended touchdown. An incredible play. I do feel like it's the play of the game. Um, it doesn't matter because they still lost, but Uh, I've never seen a play like that, where,
Uh,
like you had said, his momentum was stopped 3 times, once in the air. He was in free fall, and he just stretched his arm out. Incredible. Just incredible overcoming of adversity right there.
Oh, oh yeah, dude. Like if I'm a Bills fan, in particular, if I'm somehow related to Cook, I have that framed and on my fireplace. Like that was a yeah, dude.
100%.
That was a beautiful like extra oomph. Like it was amazing. I also want to say that I think it was during this quarter that the Bills got their first successful fourth down conversion. And
Mm,
over the course of the game, they were successful 3 out of 5 fourth down conversion attempts. Like
yeah.
that's genuinely impressive.
It's never
Uh,
heard that's never done, especially in the
yeah,
regular season. Like, you
yeah,
play a little more. I mean, every game is quote unquote important unless you're in week 18, in which case and you're the Chiefs, you can just sit all of your starting players and they get 20 days of rest before the
yeah.
playoffs. I'm not salty about that. um yeah, yeah, like the fact that they were able to run the ball on fourth down
Yeah.
and make it as often as they did, incredible. That's the power of Josh Allen. But I will say the Chiefs defense this game had Josh Allen's number. They were ready for him.
Oh yeah.
Like
Uh,
we are the masters of the tush push, and that wasn't doing nothing this game,
can I
right?
get that on a T-shirt?
We're the masters of the tush
No,
push.
I can you look around somewhere in Buffalo and find me a T-shirt that says "Master of the Tush Push."
Oh, I'm sure it exists.
I just want to wear that. Even if it has a Bills logo on the back, that's fine for me. I don't really care. I just
Listen,
want
you're
that on a
talking about Buffalo, which is, I don't know if you see behind me, the Mafia Buffalo in the style of the Marvel Studios, and then my favorite, Orchard Park in
Yes,
the
sir.
style of Jurassic Park. You gotta love it.
Absolutely, man.
I'm sure I can find you a Masters at the Tush Push.
There was also there was a play in here that I wanted to call out. It was one of the 2-point conversions that was attempted.
Oh
And
God, you mean both that were shut down completely?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no. One of them was successful.
No, we never.
Oh,
no,
that's right. Yeah. Well, no. That one made sense because a 6-point game and a 5-point game are the same game.
Yes.
No, sorry. A 5-point game and a 4-point game are both 2-score games. So
yeah,
it absolutely makes sense to go for it. I do remember Josh having the ball, trying to jump in through the pile, not making it, and then he had enough time because he wasn't on the ground. So the wave is just pushing him backwards. And he's got the ball, and he's like, "Do you want it? Do you want?"
Yes, he's just looking for anyone. Anyone.
Dude, I laughed so hard.
I mean,
no. It was no. I'm glad the play didn't stop. I'm glad it tried, but it was just. I'm probably because I was doing the voice in my head. I was like, "Do you want it? Do you want it?" That's, I mean,
Yeah. I mean, that's what you do.
Great. Yeah, it was
great. I do not feel like Allen was allowed to play the game that he normally does. Because if he had been able to, I mean, there's a reason why he's called the biggest oh my God, quarterback in the league right now. He is. He's like 6'7".
That's really
he's
tall.
huge.
Yeah,
he's huge.
That's why he was sticking up out of that pile like that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if he's 6'7". He's a very, very big guy.
I mean, we could just look it up, but I refuse.
So do I. I don't care. I mean, but yeah, he's big, and I mean, in previous games in the season, he's literally dragging defensive linemen as he's running the ball.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say that I feel like Pat Mahomes took one out of Josh's book and played like Josh usually does.
Oh,
and the Bills defense wasn't ready for that.
I wrote it down. I wrote it down. Like, I know exactly what you're talking about. It was the second time he ran the ball in. He played exactly like Josh Allen did. It was in the early fourth quarter, I believe, or late third quarter.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was early fourth quarter.
I never felt like our defense was putting enough pressure on Mahomes. He was slipping out of the pocket way too much. He was in it to win it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And pardon me. If there's one thing I can say about Mahomes, now it's been a while. This season he played incredibly. But in seasons past, there have been games where Mahomes just doesn't show up to the game at all.
Yeah.
He'll be there in body, but his spirit isn't in it.
Yeah.
Now that never happened this entire season. Pardon me while I die.
Yeah.
I got
all right. Yeah. There was I did also want to call out that the one of the scores in the fourth down, there was that long drive for 38 yards. That throw to Hollins in the middle was fantastic. I remember in particular, Josh Allen had so much time to just, he had like 7 years. I also want to call out there was an incomplete pass. It was actually probably the biggest fourth down of the game. It was their 5th fourth down conversion attempt.
You mean the last Bills play of the game?
Yeah.
You mean the one that it was a Hail Mary and should have been caught?
Okay. This is one of those things where I hate the announcer. He's like, that ball was right to it. No, that ball was not right to him. I don't remember do you know what the receiver is? I don't remember his name. Was it Hollins again? All right. So the Bills receiver just sees the ball going all wobbly space into the air, stops what he's doing and starts running toward where the ball's going to be. Chiefs defenders are like, I don't know, because I don't know. I guess the angle's bad. They have no idea where the ball's going to go. And he runs, does a diving attempt to catch, and it catches him in the crook of his elbow. Like, that's genuinely amazing. Like, it's fantastic. And I yeah, Josh. Yes, yes.
So the player that Josh is about to eat here, I believe, is Mahomes.
I don't think so.
No, okay. Anyway,
so that throw was amazing, and that receiver needs like kudos for that.
For trying.
Yeah, dude, that was amazing. Like when everything comes down to that, and if he had caught that ball,
it would have changed the entire game.
Exactly. Like it would have gone into overtime at a minimum, because I don't feel like the Bills kicker is going to miss inside the 30.
Obviously, you haven't been following Bass. So if you're a Bills fan, you know that Bass is basically like flipping a coin. Although this game he was on, I would actually say for the entire postseason he's been pretty on. But during the regular season, and I think it's true for everyone, everyone's kickers were missing. Everyone's kickers were just not doing what they needed to do.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
so upset.
So upset that my throat itches. I don't know if that's a saying, but we can go with that.
That's what's going to be on my shirt.
Yeah.
Do you think the Chiefs get the 3-peat?
Well, I do think that everyone's going to say that the Chiefs are going to win against the Eagles. I was really nervous this game going into the second half, because if the Chiefs aren't down at the halftime, I feel like something's wrong. And that's the same feeling I have here. When the Chiefs were up at the half and we're going, I'm like, oh man, something. I have the same feeling here going into the Eagles game. I believe in the Chiefs and I want them to do it, but I'm not going to say that it's a wash and it's already over, because just like Mahomes and Worthy not being on the same play in the first half of the game.
Yeah.
It takes one or two mistakes, one or two wrong calls, one or two referees not paid off, and we don't win that game. I don't know if we know anybody in New Orleans, but
let's see. I don't know if I even have a particular horse in this race anymore.
Your horse is on the side now.
Yeah. It's time for my horse to take a nap.
Yeah.
That's been kind of the phrase of the year, isn't it? It's time for them to take a nap.
Awesome.
I consider this to be one of the best games of football that I've really ever seen.
Oh yeah, this was a fantastic game. I'm really interested in how many yards of penalties were called on the Bills tonight. Like, I really want to go get that number.
It was too many. It was too many.
It was absolutely too many, especially for needless ones. Like
I said, Bills, please stop holding on to players' face masks. Jesus, God.
Oh God, what was the one where the only part of it was a throw that I don't remember which. Yeah, it was it didn't have a hold of the receiver on anything except for the face mask.
Oh, he threw him into the ground from the face mask. Yeah,
that's very bad.
It's super bad. Yes. Yeah, just not good.
Yeah.
Although they made up for it for good sportsmanship by helping players up.
Yeah. Now they're throwing you down by your face. If I help you up, it's
which
cool, right?
I'm not gonna lie is a very Buffalo thing to do. So I'm coming around on it. Tomorrow, I think the entire city of Buffalo mourns, but that is a very familiar state for Buffaloians to be in. I think that the Chiefs had a huge target on their backs. I think next year, going into the regular season, I think every single team, it doesn't matter who else beats them, everyone is going to be gunning for the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, there's this thing about riding at the front of the pack. Yeah,
Especially winning the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. Like,
getting a Chief beat.
Okay, so let's talk about these announcers real quick. Because they were Tony Romo and his sidekick, who I forgot his name. It doesn't matter. They're both terrible. They were annoying as hell during this game.
Yes, they were.
For the first three quarters of the game, majority of it, Tony Romo just basically saying, I should never have said that, that the Bills lineman, him being taken out for concussion. I said that if they lose him, that's a bad loss. And now it happened. And I called it. I was like, you sure did. Now stop talking about it. Stop it.
Just a quick Google, just so we can get their names right. It was Tony Romo, Jim Nantz, and Tracy Wolfson.
Jim Nantz, yeah.
Tracy
Wilson,
she was on the sideline. She was a sideline.
She's
reporter.
doing fine. I did like how they kept throwing it over to a third announcer for any time there was a tricky call. To be like, what's your take on that?
Well, it was just like that ref on that catch. Like, like they didn't know what was going on, so they had to throw something in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, one thing that did surprise me, there were a lot of times when I really genuinely thought the Bills got a first down, and they were like, nah, it's just a few inches off.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, that's $1,000 a call like that. No, no. There was one of the fourth down conversions. When I think it was Josh Allen again trying to jump over the middle, or he tried to push through the middle.
Correct.
And it had that dead on sideline. And whichever of the commentators has the ability to draw on the screen tried to draw a line, and it looked like a backwards letter C because whatever's wrong with that man and he can't draw. He draws it and he's like, all right, well, does the ball cross that line? And I'm like watching, I'm like, oh yeah, it does. But
and it's weird, right? Because that call, incredible. I've never seen two refs call it at the same time for the other team.
Yeah.
Which is what happened. Insanity. Yeah,
dude.
This is what, I mean, the people behind the NFL have wet dreams about games like these.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is what their dream is. Every game should be like this. I mean, I genuinely feel the last time we had a game like this was in 2020.
Oh, yeah.
The last time the Chiefs and the Bills met up for the AFC Championship. It's been 30 years since the Bills went to the Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
1994.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah. A lot of the Bills Mafia will say that this was our due. We were owed it. I disagree. Nobody is owed anything. There's no such thing as that in life. You have to earn it. You have to take it.
Absolutely.
And maybe this next season, we can find some money in our budget to pay off some refs. So,
yeah. No, man, it was a great game. It's going to be unfortunate that the only thing that the NFL world has to talk about for the next week is the calls that were made in this game. Because it's hard to agree with some of them.
But I don't feel like it was nearly as egregious as the Texans game.
I agree.
Like there was really only, in my mind, one call that was bad, and it was the one where the ball clearly touched the ground.
Yes.
And should have been considered an incomplete pass. But
I mean, you and I both feel that way. I know that there is an additional call in there, something about how much the ball is deflected by touching the ground. Now, I don't know the specifics of that rule. I am not a paid referee for the NFL.
You could
but
be. That's here a pretty good gig. You get to travel.
it'd be nice. I'd have to run a lot more than I do in my current day and age.
You just stand by the. Just be one of the kicker ones.
Yes. What are your career aspirations? To never move from the spot.
Yep. It's pretty easy to tell if like it's good or not.
Oh man. Well, I mean, it was a good game, man.
It was.
I am looking forward to the Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to Chiefs and Bills again next year. Like, I think of all the games I'm looking forward to, I can't wait for the Chiefs to lose to the Bills in the regular season play next year.
Fuck you. Listen, I, as a former bandwagon Chiefs fan, your guys' coach is the best in the league. I will not argue that. I genuinely believe that he's incredible. I do not think that Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. I think he had a good night, but I feel like he had a good night using the tactics that he learned from Josh Allen.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I didn't see a lot of Mahomes from Mahomes. I saw Josh Allen from Mahomes.
You know, he's when he was first starting out, he was big on those sidearm passes. Like, you'd see a lot of those sidearm passes, and you just didn't see a lot of that tonight. You saw one, maybe two short screens, but and both of those were for fairly short gains. Honestly, like it wasn't that big of a step up for him, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this. It's hard to say this. I don't even think. Obviously, everyone was playing hard. It was a very close game. But for some reason, I just felt like Mahomes was holding back.
I think, well, he's not trying to make excuses for him.
No.
Yeah, I mean, he is coming off of like 3 games of light duty with like several ankle injuries. And I think that I still don't think he's 100%. Now, whether that was spirit or body that was keeping him short of what we expect that 100% to be, I couldn't tell you with any degree of certainty.
Sure.
But I agree. I don't think that was the best Mahomes we've seen.
I will say this is another criticism for our defense. I do not know why they seemed so hesitant in the fourth quarter. They would literally wait for the Chiefs to receive the ball, which is what they need to do. But then several times when they would juke each other and the ball never moved forward. They were just just a dance.
Okay.
But I understand that's part of the game. But get him. Stop it.
I had an issue with the number of jukes that occurred. Jukes.
God, so many.
So it was too many. It was too many jukes. I didn't like it. It was a one where the Chiefs receiver caught a screen pass, jumped backwards 1.5 yards, juked left and right, went forward, juked left and right again, and then tried to jump forward and got pushed out of bounds. If you would have not been juking 95 times, you
could have gotten 5 yards.
Yeah. There was another one where there was like the 87 triple fake reverse. It was dumb. I was annoyed by it. Where Mahomes tossed the ball, running back tossed the ball, running back tossed the ball, back to Mahomes, throws
for
to
a gain of 2 yards.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are we doing? Are we playing a shell game?
Honestly, it was successful in running down the clock there, Cotton.
It did. It absolutely ran down the clock. But everything else, God, there was another one. I don't know who's returning the punts and kicks for the Chiefs. I don't know the name of the play. I said, I'm not a football guy, but I do know that every time he caught that ball and tried to run it back up the field, if there was a Bills defender within 5 yards of him, he would turn into a gazelle and leap. I know in the first quarter.
I will say your special teams, they never just took the 30. They always tried to run it.
Yeah, they were super interested. Yeah,
is that typical Chiefs play?
I think it was more. I think it was more play, or what's called Not necessarily typical. It was more for show because we're in the playoffs or the AFC Championship, and less because that's normally how we do things.
Sure. I mean, I get it. Those guys were slippery, man. They got through. Um, our defense had massive holes tonight.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, I wish Von Miller had done more, because last week, man, they were putting pressure on the Ravens quarterback. I just never felt like Mahomes. We applied some pressure. Man, we never put as much pressure as needed. Opening up the pocket, like just letting him run out.
I get when I get invested into a game, when I start getting excited about it, when the quarterback is sitting back there, I'll be like, throw it, and I'll be like, oh, you better throw it, because I'm an armchair quarterback like everyone.
Right. Yeah. Well, we all play Madden. Like,
yeah,
we get it.
But I probably only did that like 3 times this game with Mahomes. Like he never really felt under pressure. But with Josh, I was like, throw it though. You better throw it, boy. Like 3, like probably every time they had possession, I was like, like leaning into the game. So it was, I wholeheartedly agree. I don't think there was enough pressure on Mahomes.
I think that next year the Bills are going to have to reevaluate their way of playing the game, because their tendency to just let Josh run the ball will not work anymore. It's expected. He has one of the best arms in the game, and I didn't see any of it. Now, granted, we have one of the best running backs in the game, Cook, who is not a Henry from the Ravens. That man is a freight train if ever there was one. He is monstrous.
Yeah.
But Cook is small, and he can fit in places that previously, it would be hard to see Travis Kelce bust through, right? Not a lot of play from Travis Kelce this game either. There was some.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
No. Just a quick tangent. One of my buddies hopped in chat with me watching this game, and they brought Mahomes and Kelce up on the screen like early in the pregame, and he's like, "Oh look, it's Taylor Swift's boyfriend," and now that's how I'm going to just refer to him. That's yeah. I think that works out.
I didn't realize I have been so blue pilled in terms of Bills Mafia.
Yeah.
Just because it's blue.
Nice.
But I was so annoyed every time they showed Taylor Swift. I was like, get back to the game. What are you doing? No. Stop that. I was so annoyed. And now I understand how everyone else feels when the Chiefs play against.
Well, man, I hate to talk about that whole. We're here to talk about football, and we're talking about Taylor Swift, which is how these things happen. Whenever they first got together, everybody's like, "Oh man, it's America's couple," blah. Saying all these wonderful platitudes about their relationship, and then folks that are there to just watch a football game are like, "Man, I can't wait till she's not on the screen."
I know.
And it's nothing about like meaning to her. It's just how that turned out,
Right. And at the same time, I do appreciate their restraint. They did not go to her too many times. Like they knew it was an important game, and they shot it like it was an important game, and it was. Man, I'm ready for the Bills to go back to the Super Bowl.
Well,
I'm so ready.
Dude, it's not like their team has passed away. Like this is still a young team that's still doing a lot. The past 3 or 4 years have been great years. And so
absolutely.
And next year is going to be another great year. Yes. Unless there's like wild changes to the league or some rule. Like I'm still upset about the whole onside kick thing. Like I don't know why.
Explain it.
Okay, so 1,000 years ago, if you were going to do an onside kick, it was like the announcers would be like, "Oh no, if they do an onside kick," like it was this mystery as to are they going to do an onside kick? It's a big advantage if it works out, but it's a big risk if the other team gets it. They're basically 20 yards away. They're a fifth of the field closer than they would be otherwise. And the change to the rule is that you have to inform the other team that you're going to do an onside kick if you decide to do an onside kick. So the
Isn't it?
formation's entirely different, and I believe it's injury focused. I'm not 100% sure on that, but
Isn't it also you can only do an onside kick in the fourth quarter?
no, you can do them at other times as well.
You can do them at other times? Okay.
Yeah, but you do have to tell the other team that you plan to kick the ball short and then try to fight in a giant dog pile of man to get it.
I thought you were gonna. I thought so. You said onside kick, and I should have caught it. I thought because they made a big deal of the kickoff return new change to the rules, which I still don't understand. Basically, if it's kicked in like a not neutral, but like in a gray zone on the screen, something happens. I don't know. It's really not important. You either run it or you just take the knee and you get to the 30-yard line.
Just like it's always been, honestly.
Yep. Yep. Man, oh man, I really wanted this game not to end with someone taking a knee. I really wanted, like, what an anticlimactic way to finish off a postseason game.
It never feels as good when it finishes on a knee like that.
Unless it's your team. If it was the Bills doing it, I would have been saying something.
Well, I mean, a win's a win. A win's a win, but
a win is a win.
Oh, it's more exciting to watch the clock play instead of to watch the players play and not watch the clock play. My apology. Yeah, I got that.
Absolutely. I'm 100% in agreement. Yeah. For me, I can't wait for next season. It's gonna be a long, 9 months. So I hope the players come back rested. I hope we draft some linemen. So because our defense needs some work. And not necessarily. I say that because of one game. We still finished the number 2 seed.
Yeah,
absolutely. In all of the AFC. Well deserved. And we had a really good run this season.
Yeah.
I think that if this game had been played in Buffalo, I genuinely think it would have been a different outcome. I think going into Arrowhead is a hard pill to swallow.
Oh yeah,
especially in the postseason.
I mean, still the loudest stadium on earth, I believe.
For now.
All right, man. I think that about wraps up our discussion on the Bills Chiefs game in 2025.
I think it does. I'm sorry for half of it. I was coughing.
No, hey, these things happen. If you were able to join us for our stream, thank you so much for coming by. This is something I never thought I'd say, but be sure to throw us a like and a subscribe if you get the opportunity. Yeah. Genuinely helps us out. Feels good. Young channel. We have like 5 subscribers, so getting a start feels good. You can also find a link to our socials down in the description. Find a link to the podcast. Well, we don't always talk about football. I think our next episode we talking about the dead internet theory.
That is it. Yes.
Fun. Yeah.
We're going to be talking about technology. Probably some football in there too.
Oh yeah. All right. But my name is William. Thank you for joining Willfully Wrought, and I will see you around.
Yeah, and my name is Will. Thank you for joining Willfully Wrought, and the Bills will have their time in the sun. I swear it.
All right. Peace.